We have $25 from Azakale that says, five tickets for the train, please. Also, I have to shout out Emperor's New Groove for favorite Disney movie. Pull the lever, Kronk. Thank you so much for that, and let's keep going with that $5 train. We have $250 from Anonymous that says, thank you for all GDQ staff, tech, and runners, and donation readers. This event would not happen without you and all the hard work you put in. Thank you so much for that. Alrighty, it looks like we are ready for It Takes Two with whoishyper and ItzBytez. Take it away, y'all.
Hello, everybody. It is me, ItzBytez. You might have seen me in my last run, Psychonauts 2, and here I am showing off It Takes Two. I will be playing on the May side.
I'm AlienGod. I'm going to be doing May side commentary for the run.
What is up, AGDQ? I'm papaYANN, and I am going to be doing the Cody side of commentary, as I am a Cody runner.
And here we will show off the game. So time will start when I select play chapter, and I will count down.
No. No, it does not appear so.
All right, time will start when I select play chapter. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so just a disclaimer, the first about 8 minutes of this game are going to be fast and dirty. There's a lot of skips to cover, so here we go. We are in Wake Up Call, the very first sub-chapter of the game. These characters have been turned into dolls, and they're going to try and escape the shed and try and break the curse. The first thing that's going to happen is an item storage glitch. Cody picked up one of those fuses, put it down, and instantly reset from checkpoint. Tricks the game into thinking that, oh my god, there goes the launch. It tricks the game into thinking we have multiple, and
Oh, we got
looks like the glitch actually didn't work that time. There's a few main glitches in this game. Obviously, this one's starting right off the bat, but still a lot of extremely cool movement in this game, and that is the vast majority of what we do see. But yeah, this one can be a little bit finicky, and we actually have some custom emotes in a few channels where it's like a very sad-looking fuse called Wake Up Culge. Because sometimes this trick can be a little finicky. Normally what would happen in this chapter is these fuses would explode and go away, and the two are right there. That's easy.
There it is.
There we go. And the third one would be off in the distance, and we'd have to learn some movement tech and kind of learn how to play the game and go and chase it. But there we get to put it in multiple slots, and away we go into one of the coolest movement chapters in this game, Biting the Dust. Take it away, Alien.
Yeah, so this game has like really, really good movement, and this is going to be one of the best places to really showcase what it's all about. So you're going to notice right off the bat, they're going to go into a slide here. And these slides are really important for us because it's the best way to gain speed in this game. And we can get into slides through a couple of ways. We can slide out of sprints, we can slide out of dashes, we can slide out of frog jumps. And we use all of those in different applications to like get speed. They have different like lengths that they can go. But we mostly use the sprint slide jump, as you're going to see them use a ton over here on this side. Because basically the slide jump gives us extra height, it gives us extra distance, and we use that to basically go on top of surfaces that they don't expect you to get in casual play. And there's a ton of like climbing up the terrain like this.
Oh my god, Hyper, you sexy beast. All right, there was our another reset from checkpoint and then an FPS strat. So what we can do sometimes in this game is if you get one player to the checkpoint in any percent, you can reset from checkpoint. It will bring both May and Cody to that spot so that sometimes only one person has to make it there as opposed to both getting there at the same time. There's a few times where that happens. And then we reset, and in the load, we switch down from 120 FPS to 30, because sometimes in this game there are certain things where having lower FPS is actually way better because it allows some things to happen faster, button mashing sections and things of the like. And there's going to be a button mash coming up at the end of this vacuum boss fight. The lore behind this poor guy is that he was left to rust in the shed after a new fancy vacuum was bought for the house, so now he's not very happy with us. He's trying to get his revenge. Normally all you do is kind of just dodge all these flaming cans, line them up, knock them down, but here we can just put them in a nice straight line, shoot them through the snake hose dudes, and defeat the vacuum boss very quickly. And normally this match section would take a significantly longer amount of time, but when it goes to 30 FPS, whoop, right in we go. And that is the end of Biting the Dust. We're now into another very cool movement chapter known as the Depths.
Yeah, the Depths is really cool. We go out of bounds like right away. We come back in. First we're gonna reset checkpoint because we're gonna go back to 120 because the game just feels better at 120. There's a lot of things that are affected by FPS, like Jan said, and movement just it works better at 120 FPS. So we go back to that, and then we just go out of bounds up into some dark, up on the top of the ceiling, and we just kind of go over the whole area here. We find some leftover stuff that was probably planned for something, and we just go straight to the end. We go straight to the boss trigger, and we're just gonna we skip this entire level, which probably saves like 6 or 7 minutes.
There's the toolbox. Both of you, come on, help me break it open.
Here we go
let's
into.
go.
Oh, it's okay. He gets it right away. My God, you guys are absolutely schmoving right now. I hope you know.
Very nice.
That was so good.
So yeah, a little bit of.
That was the boss.
Yeah, they leave his hurt box off screen there, and we can just hit it without even triggering the fight. So that's what we do.
Very weird. Normally you'd go into that next section and do that, but yeah, it's for some reason just spawned in the whole time, so you can just shoot him with Cody's nails right off the bat. So now this is called backbike. In this game, normally all of the rails have a constant forward momentum that just push you towards the end, like rail grinds, like something out of like Sonic Racing and stuff like that. But now all you gotta do here is do a series of jumps and dashes to fight your way back up so we can get a checkpoint that was near that lamp, which opens the final rail here on the other side of the bike so we can actually get to the end of the level and ground pound on that shovel to finish off Shed, which is actually a pretty long chapter. We did it in like under 4 minutes and now we're on to Tree.
Yeah. Yeah, so this chapter right here, it's pretty short. For fresh air at least, but the chapter that we're going into is very long, and so this is like really refreshing for the start of Tree, because the start of Tree, it's just tons of good movement right here. You saw they just got a jump reset out of the little section of the wood there. There's just a tiny little piece of platform that you can stand on. You can get in there and get your jumps reset, and then just climb on all the way up. And we just go straight to the end. We just find the most linear path to the end, and we take it.
Yeah, that part is really tough. Here we are going into Captured. So me and Cody have just gotten to the tree, trying to open in, see where they're going, and they get captured. There's these kind of squirrels living in this tree. And they're trying to fight against the wasp nest that's inside. So we have these weapons. Cody has a sap gun. May has a match gun, and if we combine the two, they cause a little explosion. Typically here, you're going to go to a little out of bounds. If you guys want to talk about what we're going to be doing here, we can focus on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. This is the first mini game warp that we're going to see in this game, and it's the main category divider between out of bounds and any percent. And what mini game warps are is that if we can get out of bounds or just anywhere, and we can get close enough to a mini game, we can unlock it. And this game has a menu for playing mini games. And once we get there, if we've unlocked it, we're allowed to go into the menu, select play minigame, and it warps May and Cody, similar to how a reset from checkpoint may warp them to places. But you see there, the red banner shows up on top of Bytes' side. We unlock Tug of War, we warp there, and then it sets up the next part of the chapter by loading in new stuff, getting some checkpoints, and we're off to a section called Wasp Skip, which has some really cool movement on both sides.
Yeah, so if you direct your attention over to May's side of the screen, you're gonna see that he's gonna get onto some terrain here, and we just get right out of bounds right away. So I'd say the main difficulty in this skip, at least on this side, is how hard it is to see. And as you can see where he's shooting the matches, there's a lot of really weird terrain here. So you can get a lot of really fast slides off of these slopes, just as you see him doing occasionally. And being able to do that in a proficient manner it takes a lot of work. And what we're trying to do is activate a load on the other side of the vault door here.
Good first try, Hyper!
Yeah, Hyper just getting the
Let's go.
playing it.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
So what Hyper just did there was the the captured wall clip where he's gonna jump onto those rails, immediately jump off to the left, and there's a very, very thin section of the wall that he can clip through by grabbing onto the rails on the other side and just get right to the end of the level and kind of ignore a whole Donkey Kong Country friggin' minecart section of the game, where you go all the way around. And now this is the deeply rooted wall climb. More fast action here as they use the light fixtures to get out of bounds here and start climbing up the nooks and crannies in the roots to get up out of bounds, climbing up this extra branch here. They can see the daylight, and now they're gonna slide jump there to carry a lot of momentum and try and dodge a death barrier. Oh my God, Hyper
Barely.
also playing like a man possessed right now.
Man, he's playing so well right now.
And the aim
And
is
finally, we can breathe. The end of the, once you make it to this section right here, you have a run going.
Yeah, that was pretty much the main gauntlet of the entire beginning of the game. So now we're just smooth sailing on our little boat here.
Yeah, it can be really difficult to get runs out of shed, and specifically up to this point in tree, because all of those tricks, they can go so many different ways.
very spooky.
But if you want to catch us up on the lore,
Sure, I can do some
Hyper playing
quick,
out of his mind right now.
some quick lore here as we go through and shoot the larvae in the boat. So things aren't going so well in the Goodwin household. May and Cody have been fighting a lot, and they're going to get a divorce. So right before the game, the story of the game starts, they tell their daughter Rose that they're getting a divorce. Obviously, that makes Rose very sad. She has actually bought a book on couples counseling called Dr. Hakim's Book of Love. And oh my God, Bites, what are you doing some cool stuff in the background? But yes, Dr. Hakim, the Book of Love. And what happens is, obviously, Cody and May tell Rose the bad news that they're getting a divorce. Rose cries over these two dolls that she's made that look like her parents, and she wants to like role play with them that they're gonna make up and be happy. She's trying to teach them how not to fight. And then a magical curse happens when she cries on the dolls, turns
So
May and
brave
Cody
for that.
into, I know, and friggin' these guys are just hitting stupid stuff in the background as this is going. But yes, they've turned into these dolls. Now they're on a journey to try and turn themselves back into humans and get back to Rose. That's where we end up here in the tree.
So I'm just doing all this completely meaningless stuff just to spice up the little things in this run, since this is, of course, an auto scroller.
yeah, basically all
restart
that's
checkpoint
going on
there.
here. Yeah, restart checkpoint here, because normally when we time our runs in-game time, the load screens don't count, so you just get teleported forward quite a few, I don't know, meters, and that's just free time save for the run. You're going to see a lot of restart checkpoints where we'll get a save icon in the bottom right, and then we'll restart the checkpoint, and it might put us farther or skip a cutscene or something along those lines. And some checkpoints, they take 2 players, some of them take 1. So depending on the nature of the checkpoint, we might both have to play well to get there quickly. And then other checkpoints might only take one of us, so we can be a little more risky with our movement and hope that the other player backs us up. So that's one of the beauties of the co-op run.
Yeah, that's something really interesting about the back end of this game, is that each chapter was designed by a different team. Like, they had small pods, as far as I understand. And so that a lot of the chapters behave just slightly differently on the back ends, especially when it comes to like checkpoints and triggers and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of like different ways that we interact with these triggers and cutscenes and checkpoints and stuff, which I think makes it pretty interesting and varied.
Very unique, yeah.
A lot of pretty parts of this game, and you can obviously see the love and attention that's gone into this game, and a huge shout out to a lot of the developers, especially some of the ones like Lucas, Steinbeck, Duck, the people that have been in this with us since the beginning in the speedrunning Discord, coming in really early, helping us discover stuff, learn more about the game, and just being genuinely interested in watching this all happen.
Yeah, you really gotta love when the devs support their speedrun scene, because those are like the dudes that are playing your game the most, especially for a game like this that doesn't have like true like extended multiplayer. You know, like these are the people that are playing the games live. So to see that kind of support from a dev is always really, really nice.
Yeah, so basically right there, we skip shooting. You're supposed to shoot 3 lanterns in this section. The first one we completely skip. The second one, because we don't shoot the first one, we don't get a path to the second one, so we just snipe it from really far away and gets us a checkpoint. And then we use the checkpoint to death warp to the to that lantern, and that skips us having to platform quite a bit there.
And welcome.
And then right here, we basically just take these fireflies. They're on a timer. Once you pass a certain point, they spawn in, and some of them you need to wait a little bit, or they'll suck you through them into a death barrier. But most of them you can just get in right away, and these are basically just launching us to one another until we get to the end here. And we're gonna trigger quite a long auto scroller, which is a catfish.
You can death warp when I get to the thing.
Sure. Yeah, just RCP, I fell into the thing. But yeah, so we're gonna trigger the catfish here and use one of those one-player checkpoints just to catch me up here. And this is quite a long section, so we can take a few donations.
Looks like some kind of.
Absolutely, I have a bunch of them here for y'all. All right, we have $250 from Fia there that says, so excited my favorite game of the year made it to AGDQ. Even more excited to watch ItzBytez and whoishyper demolish this speedrun. Patrick, please bless this run. Get hyped and let's go. Shout out to the commentators and the community.
Is my internet going, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Casper, are you there?
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, we have $5 from the small nut that says, hey, Bytes and Hyper, your favorite nut here. Good luck on the run. Love you guys.
What up, Nut? Thanks for the 5, man.
We have $26 from the Gandy Man that says, Bytes, Hyper, big fan. Donated $1 for each second you spend in train station.
Hey, Gandy.
You got
One more.
Alrighty, we have $15 from 2X Panda that says, glad to see Hyper and Bytes doing ITT live. Hope to see Hyper hit first try Sugma skip.
We can pray. We might. We'll see. That's a tough one. It'll be coming up here at the end of tree. But now we're loading into another section of tree here, where we're going to restart checkpoint because that cutscene leaves you in the air, and is the fastest way to get back to the ground. And there's some cool railing tech here that someone else can explain.
Yeah, so we get a lot of speed off of rails. So what if you're able to slide out of it, that obviously would be really good, right? So what we do is we hold slide before we grab the rail, because if you try to slide midair, you're just gonna ground pound. So that's one of the actual few places that we actually use that kind of
I should get a death for it.
slide out of a rail.
We got it. Let's go. Hey, it'd be a little bit spooky there. Normally you wait for the fireflies to go all the way around towards the bridge, the broken bridge on the right-hand side, and you jump through them over there. But if you get there as they spawn in, you can do a dash and then a frog jump. So if you hit dash and jump at the same time, you get a nice little kind of vault jump that we've colloquially named a frog jump. And then you can get enough distance, you can get into there and launch right over the elevator right away and skip having to go around the right side there.
Yeah, we just don't want to play the game right now. We're up in an elevator. These wasps are trying to kill us. And they don't seem to realize that we're just standing still here.
I mean, speedrunning is all about playing the game as little as possible. So.
Yeah.
Safe spots? Easy.
Probably the few contributions I have to this game are just safe spots on these auto-scroller areas.
Did you find the one in Affliction too? I think I remember you doing that.
In Affliction, yes.
Yeah.
That's in one of the later chapters. Oh, I don't have my... Wow. Okay, that's actually... Okay, that's a random thing that occurs. When we restart checkpoint there's a chance that both of us don't get black bars of the introduction of those little wasps coming up. And surprisingly, I didn't get those. It's a really small chance that it happens for both players. We are going into beetle fight. Jan, if you want to take that over.
Absolutely. So this is the beetle fight. The giant beetle basically just runs straight at us, and we have to fill up these little reservoirs with Cody's sap so that May can use the matchstick gun and fire him out. he has a certain cycle of the way that he attacks, and so
That's good.
absolutely well done, Hyper. You can manage to trick him into staying nice and close to this reservoir such you can hit him right away as he does his big jumping stomps, and then drag him back over to this last one, and he does the full jumps. That's awesome. Reset from checkpoint again, and that's the quick cycle for Beetle Fight. And I know that there's a lot of casual playthroughs that I've seen, and I know it was in mine too, myself and Glint, where we were running around like chickens with our heads cut off trying to figure out how to fight that guy the first time around.
I can't! It's stop Maxie!
And now we're just trying to continue escaping the tree. Or well, not escaping at this point, I should say. We're still trying to get to the heart of the tree and go after the Wasp Queen, as yes, we're on a mission from the squirrels to try and retake their home using all the tech. And do we want to do any donations during this one?
Yeah, we could do a few.
We can do a few.
Absolutely. We have $50 from Tea Time Bros that says, how to donate for the game that got my brother and me into speedrunning. The movement in this game is just so satisfying that we had to try going fast, and it's been so much fun learning the inbounds movement and skips. Good luck to Bytes and Hyper. This run is insane. We also have $100 from Trick Surf that says, hey boys, Dungeon Matcher Trick Surf here. Glad to see two of my friends speedrunning a game they enjoy in front of thousands of people for charity. Good luck on the run, and by the way, Alien is the greatest of all time.
He actually did it.
Was that a planned one right there? Alien?
Yeah. Well, because he was asking. Okay, so fun fact about Trick: he found one of the skips in Dungeon Crawler, and he was asking me how he should say it, and I was like, just say Alien's the greatest.
Oh my god. We love you, Trick. Holy cow.
We could probably explain this. Also, I apologize if I didn't answer somebody because I don't know what happened. My audio cut out for a bit there. But I'm back now.
You're good.
All right. But yeah, this is basically one of the bosses, the main boss of Tree right here, where there's actually a honeybee piloting this mech wasp here. And to destroy it, we basically have to, it's like 5 phases, one for each of the armor plates. You've got the bottom front, the bottom back, the top front, and the top back. And then after that, we have to destroy the chain that she's hanging from. So basically what you're gonna see a lot happen here is Cody spreads a bunch of goop on each piece, and then May ignites it to cause damage. And we found that doing a lot at once does substantially, like an exponential amount of damage than doing the same amount at separate times. So we try to get it in one shot, ideally. And this is the most interesting phase probably because instead of having May shoot it directly, Cody's actually gonna make a chain of goop coming from the front to the back so that he can shoot the front and then it should destroy the back. Try to make it better.
Wait.
Take the shield.
It should be fine right now. It's good.
Yeah, there you go.
We just didn't get a line.
But yeah, the chain wasn't fully connected, unfortunately, but that was the idea.
I always love a good spridge.
And you can just see during these slight auto-scroller sections, I let Bytes get into his safe spot over there. I don't go for it because I don't want to risk both of us dying and then causing like a setback of one checkpoint and then losing a bunch of time. So
Very unlikely that happens. I doubt anyone at top level would ever do that ever.
No, and not in a world record pace run. No, never.
No, not at all. That would never happen.
Yeah, we're on to the final save.
listen, we get curious.
Yeah. Oh my god. Here we're gonna see another instance of the rails trying to force us in one direction, but we're gonna say no and go the other way. But this one's a lot easier. All you have to do is double jump and hold to the left, and you'll be able to stick near the beginning of where we launch onto these rails, and it's basically just attack the chain with the goop and the matchstick gun, and eventually send the Wasp Queen down to her eventual demise. Dodge some swords, and bada bing, bada boom.
And after a few cutscenes here, we're just going to be loading into another auto-scroller section. Nothing super important about this section other than Cody's going to be controlling the plane, similar to the Beetle ride. May's going to be shooting any enemies that we find, which is actually going to be squirrels chasing us in planes here. And we're going to take a specific path through this section, but other than that, it's at a set speed. Cody has control of a boost every few seconds. That's indicated by the light on the back of the plane. And the most notable part of this is at the very end. Normally you would enter a cutscene where you fight a squirrel on top of the plane in like a Street Fighter or a Mortal Kombat style of gameplay. But we actually found a way that we can clip out of this tunnel using a small hole in the wall, which is a very stressful trick for Cody mains across the community. But we'll be trying that, and it would be what 2X Panda referred to as Sugma skip.
Yeah, remember when we said you had a run going if you could get out of Deeply Rooted in the wall, climbing all that into the boat section? You don't have a run going until you get first try Sugma skip.
Yes, this truly is the run killing skip. Getting consistent at this is like kind of your first job as a Cody main. You get good at this, and then you get good at UFO skip, and then you're goated.
And then you cry because May has all the cool gadgets in the game.
Thanks, Slate.
But yeah, coming up very soon here, it's going to be this trick, and if you miss it, it's about 40 seconds of time lost, but I think overall it saves, what, about 30, I believe it is? Yeah,
I think it's like 33 or 34.
The Hyper is going to try and come in as low as he can here. There's going to be some grass that shows up at the bottom of the tunnel, and as soon as he crosses it, he's going to start pulling up and heading towards the top right. We can see the daylight. And he's
Oh my goodness, that was not his plan.
That was so good.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, so basically the idea there is you have to turn hard enough right when you're entering that hole so that your plane goes completely vertical and you can slide through that crack there.
Fight the tree.
Oh yeah, that's a tree.
Yeah, there's the level, it's in there.
And that's also
But
the
yeah,
tree.
that's a very stressful skip.
That's where the boss fight happens, in the box over there.
It happens in here. It loops.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
So you come out here, and then it loads out like the rest of the level, because you can see it like out there, and it just loops in a circle. You're going backwards and forwards, and this entire section here is the hang glider section. It goes through this box into here, into the spotlight. We're going to turn left. There's actually a checkpoint way out here from the hang glider section, so now we can kind of just go on our merry way and go to the house. Yep, that's the house.
That checkpoint is required to finish the tree, so we picked that up on our way. Kind of surprised we were able to find that, but we found it, so that works for us. And there's actually a pretty funny cutscene coming up here. If you do this skip, this cutscene interacts very strange because you still have control over the plane, and also the entire room surrounding the characters is just not there. So we're actually gonna intentionally lose a little bit of time here just to show off that you can fly around in the cutscene here. So this is just really funny.
Oh my goodness.
And we just wanted to show that. That's a hilarious feature of that skip.
And that's the end of Tree. Welcome to Rose's Room, the longest chapter in this game. And we're right into it with Pillow Fort. Take it away, Alien.
Yeah, so Pillow Fort, there's not really a whole lot going on. We're just gonna go to the end of this section here. Just kind of, there's a lot of good slide tech here that if you utilize it well, it can give you a ton of speed. There's a reset checkpoint down at the end, so we usually just YOLO it, and the fastest person down there gets the checkpoint. And then we just do a hacking minigame. Any of you who have ever hacked before, this is exactly what it's like.
Yes, this is real life accurate hacking here.
Every time we speedrun this, we get that much closer to hacking into the US mainframe.
One of these days.
Yeah, so now we're in Spaced Out. And so in Spaced Out, we get the first like real like game-changing abilities. And May gets gravity boots and Cody gets a resizing belt. And so what May's gonna do with this is we're gonna do another mini game mode. So we're gonna go upside down on the level and then be clipped out with an interact. And so now we're just gonna go upside down through the tube and go down to the second level, and we're gonna enter laser tennis upside down, and then it's gonna turn us back side up, and then we're gonna go get laser tennis and then reload from there. And then the game is gonna think that we're on the second platform.
Yeah, so we've effectively skipped just 3 of the 6 portals of the level already.
Normally what you would do in the casual playthrough is you'd work your way up this gravity tower, completing the portals and powering it so that you can get all the way to the top and continue on through Spaced Out. But what we're gonna do here is May is gonna go for a change in her gravity to kind of flip things a little on their side. And Cody's gonna go on a little smuggle run. He's gonna head in here to this puzzle, as some of you that have played this game may recognize. We have to grab all the conductors, get the electricity through. He is gonna bring it back through this portal, and this is the second kind of main glitch that we use in this run. The first one being the item storage, and Cody's gonna bring this conductor through, which normally he's not supposed to be able to do. He's gonna put it down, and he's gonna try and grow and grab it and pick it up at the same time. And if he gets it, it's gonna cause him to stay small but be able to move with lightning speed because the game thinks that he's big. It can be a little bit finicky.
Hopefully get it.
Okay. There's some solo May tech here that's built into this if Hyper has some struggles here. This is a very finicky, almost RNG. I know there's some runners. There it is. Very important, you want to make sure that once you get that, you grow one more time. You'll stay small, and then you can just yeet right up that tower. And May in the meantime...
And then May just finishes the level on the side. Because you can just barely hit that button.
Very precise movements there. If you fall off that button, it can be a little spooky because then you have, as Cody, to put the little conductor down because it still stays normal size and use it for May to jump around off of walls and get back up to the button. Very spooky.
Yeah, so loading into this boss fight, May actually still has sideways gravity, so the first thing you see is us restarting checkpoint because we actually can't complete this as far as we know so far on sideways gravity because you need one player to stand on the capsule, and it'll alternate who Moon Baboon targets, which is the boss here, with the laser, and then the person getting targeted with the laser needs to stand behind the capsule like so to destroy these 3, and that's the entirety of phase 1 of Moon Baboon.
Yeah, I'm just kind of standing in this corner. Another contribution of my safe spots on any boss fight. These bombs will not touch me, but I do have to jump over the lasers.
You just don't like boss fights.
I despise them.
Yeah, you know, with speedruns, we just try to play the game for as little time as possible. AFK on the bosses and then beat the game as quickly as we can. We say we love the game, but then we do stuff like that. We're going into phase 2 here.
Rocket Rodeo. Basically,
Yeah, so it's really important here for them to keep the rockets away from each other because if the rockets hit each other or hit them at all, they're just gonna blow up and then you're gonna lose a cycle for that.
I want to be very...
Yeah, so right here with this second rocket, I'm gonna try to land on top of Moon Baboon. Bit of an awkward angle, but we got it. Let's go. And now, after this last rocket hits him, it's gonna trigger this cutscene where the hatch I'm standing next to, you might not be able to see me very well because I'm shrunken, but this hatch is gonna open up and instantly pull me in. Whereas normally you'd have to wait for the end of the cutscene to move towards the hatch. We restart checkpoint.
Here
And we have a UFO skip.
comes a UFO skip, so yes, we reset from checkpoint. That was very close to the electrical frying booty. This is the other marquee Cody trick. It's a series of blind out-of-bounds jumps. And it's already done.
Perfect.
Let's go,
not easy.
Hyper!
That is not
This
easy
man
to
is
do.
playing out of his mind right now, folks. But yeah, that is a series of blind out of bounds jumps that you can actually practice it by going further through that level and tricking your camera into unlocking so you can see what you're doing to practice it, but you're essentially just doing a series of muscle memory movements that are very difficult to master off screen. And yeah, just getting close enough to that platform and it skips going through about like 25 to 30 seconds of extra running through Moon Baboon's saucer to get up to that eject button to kick him out into here.
Clean.
And very, very clean. A little bit of RNG in that section that we found out you can reset at the beginning to manipulate his initial spawn, but then the rest of it, you're just at the mercy of RNGesus.
Yeah, so now we're in hopscotch, and hopscotch has a lot of like really fun movement. They kind of start off here. There's some puzzles with like blocks and stuff, but we can completely skip them with good place slide jumps. And so this is one of the spots we use frog jumps a lot because it just gives you so much more distance. I mean, not like a huge amount more, but enough to make that jump not stressful at all. And then there is a fast cycle on these blocks that Hyper is killing right now. Oh, and he gets it.
Oh,
This man's been saving it
Hyper's
all
so
for GDQ.
Hyper's on a rampage right now.
I'm gaming. Yeah, we're doing another minigame warp here where Bytes is going to go off on his own. My job is done here, so I'll put Cody's beautiful face on the screen for you. And he's basically going to this other minigame very far into the sub-chapter right before you get to access the fidget spinners. And by warping here, this allows us to actually get the fidget spinners. So normally, if you do that out of bounds and you don't warp to this minigame, then this is all walled off and you can't actually access the fidget spinners. So that's the power of minigame warps right there.
Yeah, so now we get the fidget spinners themselves, and the fidget spinners are some of the best movement tech that we get in the game. Like, they move so well. The problem is they move too well, and we go right to the end. Like, as soon as we get we go right to the end. So now they're gone.
I do want to mention a little bit of a content warning. There are flashing lights in this section of the level. So if you are sensitive to any kind of flashing light.
We'll let you know when it's back in, guys. What does Dr. Hakeem say before we head into this section? Life is a
That was like the worst coordination we've ever had for that. Also, Discord delays the worst for
all that
that.
matters is you and Hyper being coordinated.
Yeah. Yeah, our commentators are insane tonight. You guys are killing it.
Oh, thank you, Bytes.
Big agreed.
Oh,
Yeah, you see at the start of Kaleidoscope, we actually, by not landing initially and using a jump out of the air in the cutscene there, we prevent the game from setting our death spawn at the first platform. So what happens is we skip over one of these kind of sections where you're loading through the tube, and we die. And since it doesn't know where to put us, it spawns us back where we just died, under the death barrier, and then we can just land at the end of the whole section and complete it from there. And we just restart checkpoint there because the screen gets all fragmented, and restarting the checkpoint just instantly fixes the screen for us. Not something we like to worry about.
Nice.
oh my God, that is such a cool piece of movement in this game. The good old Kaleidoscope Tower.
Yeah. And at the end there, you saw they clip to the floor. Just because interact prompts, they don't care where collision is where. If you are within range, you're going right to it.
And there goes all the flashing lights. So those of you who looked away, you can look right back.
You heard the Gandhi man. All 26 seconds of train station coming in real quick, real hot. Or normally what you do in this section is you have to collect these figurines, these little Playmobil looking figurines, put them into their respective slots, activate all these different switches, and it's done. Train station's gone. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, we don't. We only need two.
Yeah, all you need two is because there's a bit of there's another glitch, the third major one we use there, where you can trick the game into thinking that Cody has placed one of those statues in both of those turnstile locations at the same time so that they kiss, send electricity, you know, chemistry, electricity, over to the tower, and then, oh, almost the advanced
Very
movement.
close.
Almost the advanced movement. Yeah, this is Dino Land.
Yeah, so basically the runners get a choice of which dino they want to play here. I give Bites the green one because that would be the carry dino. Take some slack off. I let him carry me as much of the run as possible. You're playing great. And basically what's happening here is we're just going through this mostly as normal until we get to here, where we're gonna set up a death warp for the red dino. He's gonna lift that block, and then I'm gonna wait for him to grab, slam this to complete the puzzle, and then I can die instead of having him come get me. And that spawns me back to the top and saves a few seconds. And then we actually have to do all this to trigger this cutscene, which then allows us to grab the last block, which he's going to right now. And by raising the last block, that allows the lever to be activated to end the level. So now that the last block has been lifted and the lever's active, he's just gonna go out of bounds here and abuse some. Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Freaking go,
That jump
Bites.
is really hard. That jump is way harder than it looks.
Bites, you man.
And that takes us out of Dino Land.
Cody, why do I smell
I'm trying to bring this AGDQ couch energy here, folks. We're online. We don't get to have all you here on the couch. I was specifically requested by Hyper that we need to bring that energy this evening, so you're getting all of it.
We do. That's something you miss with the online runs is you don't have that crowd there. So
Jan,
we try to make up for it a little.
Jan is our crowd.
He really is. He really is.
Jan is 7 people.
Oh my god. The heart of a champion. Yeah, a huge shout out to everybody that's been spamming all those emotes and cheering us along in chat. The donations we've gotten so far, it means so much to be able to be a part of this and be here and showcasing this for you guys. So
I did see something in chat earlier about somebody asking about solo runs, and there are solo runs in this game. One of the current world record holders, Good Noise, he has done an entire full game solo co-op, and he did it in under 2 hours, and it's one of the most insane
Phenomenal run.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal run. one of the best speed runs I've seen. It's so impressive.
Yeah, this section we're basically just working together to control this boat. It's not a whole lot of tech that goes on here. We abuse that firework to instantly kill that boat so we don't have to shoot it multiple times, which is nice. But what you're gonna see basically is a lot of restart checkpoints because this boat, it gets up to speed pretty slowly. So we try to restart checkpoint anywhere we can that's gonna put us further ahead than we were previously. And then this is a personal favorite section of mine because of my my affinity towards penguins. I'll put it like that. I really enjoy penguins, so I'm always excited to be at this part. Yeah, one of those penguins is actually named after me, and some runners like to destroy it to taunt me in their runs. That's a little community thing we like to do.
that was such an eloquent way to put it. My affinity towards
Oh, big penguin fan for any penguins out there.
see some penguins in chat.
They don't have the hyper.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this boss, we're basically going to be trying to perfectly time shots to hopefully kill him in 2 cycles, but in the meantime, yeah, we can take some donation.
Absolutely. I have a bunch of them here for y'all. We have $25 from Sir Listener that says, "Hey, Bites and Hyper, have an awesome run. Much love from Switzerland."
Thank you
We
very much.
also have $25 from Radio that says, "Imagine running a category that skips rehearsal and symphony." Shaking my head. We also have $250 that says, "Hey, Bites and Hyper, good luck on the run. And always remember, we burned the other ship and we were with the other ship."
Oh my goodness.
What? Who was that?
What?
That must have been Facade, right? Oh, schmung.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, we can do another.
All right, we have $10 from Zaxis that says, "Hey, Hyper and friend ItzBytez, kick butt, rooting for y'all and enjoying the stream. All love from the fam."
Thank you. That's my buddy Zach. And as we come up on the end of this, if we kill him here, which we did, let's go. That would be the what we like to call the 2-cycle octopus, which almost feels RNG, but it essentially comes down to just not missing any shots from the start of the fight and then timing your shots really well. And if you do it perfectly, you should be able to kill him in 2 cycles, but it does feel a bit RNG at times.
Yeah. It's just one of those skips that like it feels like it has to have a consistent setup, but we just like we don't fully understand what makes it tick yet. It's very weird. Yeah, so now we're in Greatest Show. And so the objective in Greatest Show is to get this marble to the very end of the level. And while we don't have to move it everywhere, we do have to get it triggered at certain checkpoints. And this cannon part is one of them. So after doing these cannons, it spawns in
Just barely.
in this spring next to us. So we get to skip the first couple of puzzles because it just spawns it in for us. And then at the end,
Perfect.
let's go.
Let's go.
God, those stupid balloons. Those stupid balloons. Sure, Alien, thank you. But yeah, it's, now that we've gotten through the balloons there, which have given so many runners a headache, I know it's plagued me and Glint in some of our runs. Shout outs to my best buddy, the guy that got me into this game and speedrunning in general. You're one of the any % world record holders, Glint. Love you, buddy. But yeah. Now we're gonna head across the unicycle. Fun fact, you don't actually have to tilt the marble at all as made to get it to do anything. Like, it's a secret. You can just keep it still and you won't lose it. But here we're gonna do a death warp with this marble, where Hyper is gonna get it set up there along the edge. Bytes has gone across and set his death respawn point to the pillows over there. And he gonna go across, pick up the marble, fall down with it, because if you just are on that little edge piece as opposed to going back up on top, it won't reset your death spawn to over that side. Gets it first try, respawns with the marble, shoots the clown, and we're out of Greatest Show.
And that's just something we like to do because moving with that marble takes away so many of your movement options that you have. So you would have to move it over there so slowly. And there's even like some co-op puzzles that you would have to do normally to pass the marble back and forth between each other. And that just is not fast enough for us.
Wow. You and Rose built all of this?
This is Once Upon a Time, so basically just kind of a lot of cool little like Easter eggs and different mini games and things you can do in this area. But basically the goal is to just get the bowling ball on the massive crane and go tapping on the old queen's door, because that's the whole reason why we're here in Rose's room. We think that the reason why we turned into dolls is because Rose cried on us. And you know how we're gonna get back to being normal humans? We're gonna get more of Rose's tears. And what better way to do that than to kill her favorite toy? And we're on our way to do that, spoiler alert. This is usually just both players going back and forth simultaneously. Famously, the most knocks it's taken to open this door is 14. We're not gonna see it there. It was only about 4 or something. But yes, we have seen it take 14 knocks to get through that door before.
That was a hilarious time when that happened.
Oh, you can't stop me, Gates.
Nice one.
All right, so this is Dungeon Crawler. So this kind of takes a Diablo 2 style camera angle to kind of, and it kind of is a Diablo 2 style like portion of the gameplay. But the thing is that we get 2 dashes. Cody gets a very tiny little baby teleport. May gets the big boy long dash. And those 2 things will allow us to get out of bounds by climbing up onto like little rocks and then pushing it into the collision, and it'll just get us out of bounds. And so we just walk over the rooms. The thing that's hard about walking over these areas is that these rooms that we're avoiding do not show up until you're right on top of them. So you really do have to like practice and memorize where these rooms are in order to navigate this room.
It's a beautiful thing that people can find in casual playthroughs where they just get genuinely curious to what can limit to where you can actually skip places. And surprisingly, this out of bounds was not found too long after the game was released.
Yes, very shortly. The person I initially started running this game with, he goes by Facade or Trickster. That was the first thing he showed me when we started playing, is that he found some way to get out of bounds in this section in his casual playthrough. No idea how he figured that out, but it's funny enough used to this day. really cool.
Do you want to talk about this next section or get some more of those donations in?
Oh, we can do donations. This section's just going to be a boss fight where we're just teasing this bull to run into some pillars. Nothing too intense going on other than that. So we can take some donations.
Absolutely. We have $25 from Glint that says, the It Takes Two community has been an absolute dream to be a part of this year. Bytes and Hyper are some of the best and are going to put on an amazing show. Good luck to the runners and show everyone why It Takes Two isn't just Game of the Year, but Speed Game of the Year.
That's right. That's right.
What is it, Alien?
It's Speed Game of the Year, for sure.
We've got you on tape, buddy. Don't you forget it.
Alrighty, we have $25 from Big Man that says, my favorite May and Cody, Bytes and Hyper. I love you both. Your assets to the ITT community. Thank you for all you have done. P.S. Don't forget to kill the penguin.
No, we already missed it. But you know I can't do that, so. Not really forget. Listen, I'm not about killing the penguins. That's me we're talking about. We leave that to the other runners. You can, yeah, you can do one more.
What is this RNG? Oh my god.
That was great.
Okay, maybe not. We do need to warn that this content coming up is a little bit graphic, I guess.
It's just dark. It's really dark. If you don't like seeing cute, cuddly things put in like compromising situations, I would just not watch. Also, this is one of the only sections of the game where we cannot skip the cutscenes. So if you haven't seen the game or played it and you want to, there's huge spoilers right here. But for context of what's happening here, like Jan said before, we are trying to make our daughter cry. So we do this by just really dragging this out. Like we're trying to make sure that the elephant dies so that Rose cries on top of us. And
Come on, grab her.
little, like I said, spoiler alert, it doesn't work because that's insane. Why would that work? So yeah, this is one of the only parts of the run that we cannot skip. We have to do this every time, and it's a good time.
Yeah, something that if you sign up for speedrunning this game, you're subjecting yourself to watching this every single run, and there's nothing you can do about it until someone finds a way to skip it.
Yeah, Queen Skip is a community meme because it doesn't exist. It feels like it should be the one thing that should exist, and it does not. They went out of their way to make sure that you have to watch this.
Because the main reason why we're doing this is that anything that we interact with in the real world can actually like show up in the real world's eyes, but they cannot see us in particular because we're in a fantasy. But whatever reason, anything in the real world we touch just moves or anything of that such. That's why we're getting the attention of Rose.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, so now the elephant's dead.
The queen
and
is
we
dead.
move on with our lives without even. They don't even shed a tear. They don't care. They're just running to the
No,
tears.
they're just angry that it didn't work.
Gimme, gimme, gimme.
At this point in the game, the Book of Love is suggesting a different strategy because we just tried the crying one and that didn't work. So now he is putting us through a series of tests to try to get May and Cody to remember why they fell in love in the first place, essentially. So this is one of his first tests, which is related to the fact that May works a lot, doesn't have time. So he put us in a clock to settle our differences.
Yeah, so you can see they just got out of bounds in the very first room, as we do in a lot of these sub-chapters. The thing that's different here is that May has a new ability that is the most broken ability in the game. It is the clone. So the way that we abuse this clone is we can place it in the air, and then we have two options after that. We can either clone into it immediately, and we get a slight bump of height, and that lets us get over like like edges and get to heights that we can just barely not get to normally. And then if that's still not enough, we can land, and then we get our jump and dash back. We can go back into the clone, and then we get 2 jumps and dashes from where we would have only had the 1 set. And we absolutely use that to break open the middle part of this chapter.
Yeah.
Not so much
Also,
here,
for
though.
some reason, in this area, frames drop quite consistently from how much this game demands everything to be rendered, especially when 2 people are loading the same things together. We're gonna feed the pigs Boris and Horace that we both named ourselves.
Boris and Horace. I've never heard you guys say their names before. That's so freaking cute. Yeah, the lore.
Yeah, that is completely optional. We just love to do that. Don't mind where they go afterwards.
Just open this gate.
No.
Should be a breeze.
The lore behind these abilities is actually pretty interesting too, because Dr. Hakim has an interesting way of trying to get these 2 to rekindle their passion and settle their differences. And May's prime concern is that she can't be in 2 places at once, because she's the breadwinner of the family and is constantly at work, and she can't be in 2 places at once. So she gets the stopwatch. And then Cody doesn't feel like he has enough time to pursue his hobbies and his passions while also being a good dad and having time for May. And so he gets the pocket watch so that he can control time.
Wow.
Yeah, correction. He meant May gets the clone. Cody gets the stopwatch.
Oh, they can fly.
What?
Balls they can.
He said stopwatch for both, but
He gets a pocket.
just wanted to.
No, Cody gets a pocket
No, yeah,
watch.
they both get a watch.
Oh, do they? Oh, okay, and then the
Yeah.
the stopwatch is what gives her the clone ability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I
if
thought it was a
if you
slip
look
of
on
the
back,
tongue.
it's just
Well,
like
you
a
thought you
wrist-
caught
a
me
wristwatch,
slipping
yeah.
there, eh?
Ooh, thought I got you.
It's my. I know. Hyper could probably agree. I know it's my dream to catch Jan slipping on my.
Gonna wake up pretty early in the morning. Yeah, just another example there that we just saw of how slide jumps just bust this game wide open. We're able to clear further gaps that we normally wouldn't be able to do, and we can just get earlier cycles within the first tower there and open it up, expose the shield generator core.
Look at that tower.
Yeah. So something interesting we do here with the towers is, if for those of you who've played this, you probably are aware about the bombs that spawn after you do the towers, and you're probably wondering why they just went past them. Well, because we found out that you can actually target the bomb from the other side at the end. So we just skip doing the bombs there, because moving after you complete the bombs, it really messes with your camera, and because the movement there is so dependent on where you're looking, it's really, really
Oh, fancy
hard
seeing you
to like move in a
Well,
good line to the end to like make sure that you're going fast. So we just do them right here at the end. You're gonna see Bites. He's gonna aim all the way down to the other side and just crush it real fast. And we just split it up. But that's the thing about a
You
co-op
beat me.
game, is you want to make sure that you're maximizing both players doing something to actively progress at all times, because that's where you save all your time.
Nice bird dance. Oh!
I missed May for a second there. I got her.
Nice. Hyper using the bird parked right at the gate there to jump over it early and start wall jumping back and forth and bringing down and opening up the gate of time. Did we want to do?
Now this is a scary subchapter.
For May it is. For me, I'm
May.
big chillin'. But yeah, we do have a very scary May trick coming up after she saves us from this compactor room.
We can come for probably 2 or 3
yeah.
donations right now, though.
Absolutely. We have $300 from Cody, who says, papaYANN's laugh is killing it. Best couch energy vibes. Amazing run so far.
Thank you.
You should hear him wheeze.
Oh, we have a legendary clip from our practice the other day.
What a magnificent place.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Mechanical parts.
We have $50 from Symbiotic Schnee that says, good luck, guys. I know you'll crush it. Get the community a new world record.
Thank you, Steve.
Oh, it's asking for a lot there.
New world record with the cutscene. the plane
boy.
missing.
You can't explain.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
actually, you can't even do that.
So, this is the
knows?
scariest trick in the run. This is a May only trick because of the clones. And so basically what we're supposed to do here is we're supposed to go to the different sides here, and we're supposed to get some keys, and then that unlocks a boss room where we fight the bull. But we don't do any of that because we're just gonna go right out of bounds right away off this rail, and we're gonna do some dark platforming here. The reason this is so scary is because you can't see for part of it. There's a little bit of blind jumps in it. There's some collision that you cannot see. And if you miss even one of these jumps, you probably will have to start it from the very beginning unless you manage to save it. And it just loses. You have to just start from the beginning. You see him taking the safe land there to make sure that he clears that. So yeah, we're just gonna climb around the outside here, and then we get into here, and there is invisible walls all around us and an invisible ceiling that we're trying to land up on top of. You are insane.
Oh no.
Very close.
He almost got Wallace, which is what we call that.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
okay.
There it is. So that's
All
why
good,
this
all
skip
good.
is scary, because if you miss, there's only one way to get back up, and that's from the start. And,
Yeah, I played super risky there. There are times where I can jump refresh and get a clone back. I took a high risk and paid the price, but that's fine. The skip doesn't take too long.
Yeah, that's just a display of like why this is such a like the plane skip for Cody is so comparable to this skip, because you miss it, you're gonna lose a bunch of time. It's just so high risk. Any one of these jumps means you have to restart it. So this is something that all Mays put a lot of time into practicing.
Oh my god, it goes for it
Really don't
again.
throw their runs here.
Oh, that's
Let's go.
Do it twice.
Nice.
love.
No.
Wait,
Okay.
finish it off.
Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good.
We're good.
We're out of
Alright.
here.
So hitting that lever there gets the checkpoint, and then we can reset from checkpoint, and we skip the keys and the boss, and that's why we call that bull skip.
Desync might make that wall jump section look a little bit funny.
Yeah.
Only on Cody's side.
And so then another use of the clone here to skip another puzzle, and then you just come right back across. So that saves a whole cycle having to hold down the stairs so May can get up there.
So this is a long clock elevator auto scroller where both players are required to enter here to trigger, but you can actually trick the game by having one player stay in the trigger, the other player touch the trigger from the outside, and then jump back to safety. And now May is outside of the clock, I am trapped in the clock, and she's unable to die out there as long as Bytes doesn't do anything crazy like jump off the edge. So I can pretty much let go of my keyboard here and just chill for this section, and we can take some
Weird.
donations.
We can take it. Yeah,
tempting
we
me
can
a
see.
bit.
You have a lot of time. You can just go till we tell you to stop.
Yeah.
Alrighty, sounds good. We have $25 from Good Noise that says, I'm glad we can get such an awesome group of gamers to represent the ITT community at GDQ. Each of you are a huge part of what makes our community a great place to be. And it makes me happy that you guys get to show off our game on the big stage and support a great cause while doing it. Proud of you guys. Can I get a Yurdim?
Yeah, love you, Good Noise. Thank you, man.
I hope I said that correctly.
Yeah, you got it.
Let's go.
Alrighty, we have $5 from Tamil that says, very recently learned this run with the help of Hyper and the rest of the ITT community. They have been such an amazing, supportive, and nice group of people, and it's wonderful to see this run at a GDQ. Been watching the event for years, and it's always such a great fun to watch. Thank you so much for that.
All right, thank you for those donations, Casper. You're doing a fantastic job.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
All right.
here's Fast Ropes, another quick and dirty section of this game, and basically you RCP there at the top of the tower. You get a global cycle going. All those bars will always rotate in the same places, so these players are just gonna head on really quick, and you can see off in the distance that last one, the horizontal one. It's the one we're going for, and they get it.
There it is. Very nice.
That
very
is
nice.
the fastest you can do that room on the global cycle, and they get it beautifully. And if you're lucky too, sometimes you can get an interesting swing of the momentum with the ropes, and it'll shoot you right out to the door and go like super duper fast. But like, man, these guys, there was no doubt that they were gonna get that.
played down. Okay, how do we feel about letting Casper just take it for the next 5 minutes? we are in auto scroller land now. There's like 6 or 7 in a row.
He's not wrong. You can go ahead and start reading, and if we find a reason to stop you, we will go ahead and do so. Got it.
Alrighty. We have $250 from Time Watcher that says, I enjoyed It Takes Two as a casual run with my friend. Thanks for showing how much you can destroy this game in a speed run. Thank you so much for that. We have $10 from Grug that says, I lost my grandma to brain cancer 10 years ago, so I am more than happy to give what I can to this amazing cause. A huge thanks to everyone who makes it all happen. Good luck, Bytes and Hyper. You got this. Make It Takes Two community proud. P.S. Cody is better than me.
Ooh!
Love you, Grug.
Oh my. Thanks, Grug.
We have $256 from Steppo Boy that says, so excited to see It Takes Two at AGDQ. Shout out to my friend Nartris who's watching this with me. It's about time we played this through this game again. We have $200 from the last runner, Jamich, that says, thanks again to GDQ for letting me showcase one of the most underrated rhythm games, and to the donors in chat for keeping it hype. Putting this towards not ITG and keep the rhythm game love going. Trust me, you're going to want to see this showcase.
Such cool stuff those guys have been doing.
We have $250 from I Am Nomad that says, absolutely love this game. Tons of great times playing this with my husband. Thank you, staff and gamers of GDQ. These runs are always amazing. We have $25 from Shanatera that says, sitting at home with COVID watching my first live GDQ. We'll donate another $25 if the runner and couch all give a wicked GDQ hype.
GDQ hype. Perfectly in sync as requested.
I hope that woke my family up.
Yeah.
Keep going for it. You're killing it, Casper. Keep going.
Alrighty, we have $200 from Nathan that says, had to donate during my favorite game of 2021. My wife and I couldn't put it down once we started playing it, and it was one of the most fun co-op experiences I've had. Amazing jobs with the donations, everyone. Let's keep them coming for this great cause.
Trust me, you are not alone there, Nathan. Thank you.
We have $500 from Ghost Dog that says, super happy we got to the 1.4 mil. Let's go hit the 1.5 and then onwards to 2 mil. Love listening to the stream all week when I could. We have a bunch of donations for you guys, so much I can't get through them.
You still have a little bit.
Keep going.
All right, well, I want to give a shout out to some of our donators without comments. We got $1,000 from Ara956.
Wow.
$500 from B Neep, and another $500 from Robot MLG. Thank you guys so much for that donation. That is amazing.
And perfectly timed, because now we're back into gameplay. So for this skip here, Cody has control of his clock, and he's gonna be able to move time back and forth to be able to move these pieces of exploding debris for May to climb on them. And there's like 6 or 7 that you have to get to the end. But we found out that if you touch the bottom of this one, it sets your spawn for the top of it, and that skips like all of it. So we go right to the end. And then we only have 1 or 2 left that we have to do.
All the way.
There it is.
The generosity of this community and everybody that's been a part of GDQ so far is just so incredible. Like, I lost my great-grandmother to cancer, and my uncle is a cancer survivor, and just every year these events just keep blowing me away. It's like it cannot be stated how awesome it is to be a part of this.
All right, and that's the end of clock. And so now we go into what I think most people would consider the best best chapter in the game for movement. Just so much good stuff in this chapter to talk about.
Oh, you already know, Alien. It is Snow Shed, or well, Snow Globe, but you know, we like Shed Gamers Incorporated because myself and Glint played Shed for like 9 hours at a time, multiple streams when we first started playing this game. But it is Snow Globe. My goodness, my favorite chapter of the game. So excited to talk about it. This is warming up. As soon as these players spawn in, they're going to make a mad dash to the left and they're going to head for this tree. And we're going to see the first appearance of something called a Snuggle Slide. Shout out to Snuggles for finding this tech. What happens is if you start crouched and then you land, like, oh my God.
Let's go.
So clean.
Can you guys like slow down a little bit? Like,
And it's a
No,
huge
no thank you.
Oh my goodness.
sir.
they're moving.
I'm gonna teach you to
Incredible.
talk faster.
I know.
You gotta keep
I'm
up.
trying, I'm
Yeah, so
trying.
that tree jump at the start does not mess around. Like the top of that tree is as small as it looks. And you have to get a slide jump off the very top of it. And that's why we have a weird setup from the bottom branch. But yeah, not an easy trick to do. And for them to both crack it out like that first try in the marathon. That's
A
so
very
impressive.
small window of opportunity and both of them hitting it right away. Like these guys are flying at the speed of sound right now. Mach 70.
Yeah. So this section here, actually so good for movement. It's one of the favorites in the race events that we do every other week. Every other week we host a 1v1 tournament, which is double Elan bracket, where we go to different parts of the 80% route and we just race each other on them. And this is one of the crowd favorites, one of the runner favorites. There's so much that goes into this. Like the rail speed is good. It's not super difficult, but it is just difficult enough. It's just the perfect balance of that like just really strikes where it feels so good to run, feels so satisfying to do right.
And get started.
Nice save.
Save.
We got backups on
Jump
backups,
resets off the tree,
baby.
and then we do a jump reset ladder here off of some invisible collision off the top, where we just get a bunch of jump resets, and then we get all the way up to the top. No hypers.
Let's go.
No hypers, let's go. Yeah, there's something you can that can happen there at the top. If you do your slide jump a little bit differently, there's a chance that the game just doesn't give you your double jump. And it was traditionally me who that would happen to a lot, so the community's kind of coined it as getting hypered if you lose your jumps there.
All right, and now we get into the last real auto scroller for a while.
Okay, we're okay.
Saved.
Good save. Yeah, so they have to slide jump up through the floor, and if you miss getting up into the floor, there's just a giant chasm underneath you. So if you fall there, you have to do the entire sub-chapter again. Or no,
I'm
you
gonna
can
attempt
just bounce
here.
kick, probably.
I'm gonna attempt here. I'm gonna be bumping against the side rails. There's invisible barriers on this. What do we call this? Like raceway? I don't know.
There's a word for this, but I
appropriate?
honestly don't know.
It's a
Oh, here it is.
slalom, right?
Could be getting it.
No, wait. I think it's a
Small chance. It's a small chance. It's a small chance. It's a small chance.
Oh my God.
Oh no!
No.
All right. So
It's
the entire
not
premise of
fair.
that is that I can rotate around the entire barrier, and there is an opening on the outer shell, I guess you could call it, that I can clip through and kind of stay in place. And for some reason, because we are so far away from each other, the rubber band effect that happens in this area kind of just releases. And whoever is the one kind of free sliding down gets a speed boost at the end of this whole section. And I was very close to getting it actually, but it just did not want to clip me out.
Yeah, that was
And by the
surprising.
way, during the whole time I've been explaining this, we went through an entire whale.
Wait it.
Forgot to give a warning there. I apologize.
Give me a little icky.
But here would be the part where one player would be getting the speed boost, which is very massive actually. It saves about 4 seconds. But one day we'll find a way to make it
Getting
consistent.
consistent, hopefully.
You're up, Alien, with proxy.
All right, so if you take your attention over to the right side of your screen, you're gonna see Hyper get underneath a small invisible ledge in this rock here. And basically what that does is it lets us get, oh, it just barely doesn't. But we call that a proxy, and it's when you get just like a ton of vertical velocity just from like hitting jump while also coming out of the water while you're underneath the surface. And it
Oh my God, Bites!
Nice.
Stop it,
so
Bites!
crazy, dude.
Oh my, okay. So that is probably the most difficult trick in this game. Simply just because there is an infinitesimally small window up that ice wall to get a jump reset and use that to carry your momentum up the wall and get onto that upper ice shelf so that you can get to this part, because obviously this section we're trying to fix all of the candy cane feeds to the factory. We're trying to power the lighthouse so we can get up to the top of it and get to the end of the level. But yeah, no, that was found by Lovable Big Man. Shout outs, he had a donation earlier. My goodness, that is a difficult trick to do, and getting it first try in the marathon, like, let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, it's working.
Yeah, that
Yeah, the
trick
thing
is
is with
no
that
joke.
wall climb, it
Fork.
actually gets to be more even from the split that we do here.
Turn on the light.
So the proxy that Hyper try to do makes the time difference between each of these sections to be completed almost at the same time. But because I got it first try and Hyper did not get the proxy, I was just kind of waiting a little bit, which is not too bad. But that is definitely the hardest trick in the game, without a doubt.
Luckily, it doesn't like cost you a ton if you miss it. You can kind of just keep kind of going at it until you get it, but those add up, and it's not an easy trick to get. So
Yeah, now here we are swimming with our friend Lenny, the anglerfish, who does not consider us a friend himself, probably because he doesn't like us screwing in these bolts. So anytime he hears you screwing in one of these, he bolts over towards you. You can get lucky or unlucky with the cycle based on how much he wants to bother you. But this last screw, for some reason, doesn't have to be screwed down. We can just connect the thing and restart checkpoint, and the game just thinks that you've completed it. So that's the end of Beneath the Ice.
Yeah, from being such a far distance away from that bolt and having the wrench just kind of, I guess, plugged into it. I don't know what to refer to that as, but if we are far away from that wrench, it'll just auto-complete that one bolt.
Feels great to be above the ground again.
Because we're so far away from it, it just auto-completes it, puts a save, and we're just in that hub.
That's awesome.
A 360 view.
We have time for like one donation here.
Yeah, I'm getting dizzy.
Keep on going.
Absolutely. We have $50 from Corinne that says, "This run is amazing. I've been looking forward to it all week, and you guys are killing it. Loving the couch energy tonight."
Thank you.
Thank you.
The yawn energy.
Oh,
We love to see it.
Oh, you know. And you know it's going to get even better because we're into slippery slopes. I've definitely not spent 15 hours in a row perfecting my movement in this chapter. So what's happening? We're going to jump out of the chairlift there, ram straight into that wall, and use the momentum to carry us up onto the chalet and out of bounds. There used to be a more difficult way to get up there, but then famously myself and another runner named Ironhead in a race took about a solid like 2 to 3 minutes just bashing into the wall. Couldn't get up there. It was a whole debacle, and so I found an easier way to get up there. But yeah, these guys are
it
gonna,
was like the next day too.
yeah, I know. These guys are gonna abuse the chain slides here now. So if you are in a slide jump and you're sliding downhill, if you jump, you keep so much of your momentum because of how quickly you move while falling out of a slide jump. And so if they can chain these together, they gain so much momentum. Can they get over the chasm skip? They both get it.
Yes.
Woo!
Easy. Not even worried.
Yeah, that's a bit of a spooky section if you don't have a lot of
If
momentum.
you look at Byte's side of the screen, you see this is how much speed you can really get from like, if you chain it.
Oh, hyper!
Oh, did we both messed up the chain, didn't we?
All good, all good.
Oh, you got a really nice one there.
Unacceptable.
It's a good early showcase of those chain slides because you'll end up seeing it a
Yeah.
little bit later on once again.
Yeah, so we're going out into the middle of this void here, traversing a lot of invisible
back.
collision in order to
Again,
find
go.
a checkpoint trigger where we can then load in the map. Because we're in the same spot that we're in right now, it's just everything wasn't loaded. So now we have everything loaded in and we can get into Clint Skip. You know, if you want to take that.
Sure. Once again, shout outs to one of my best buddies, Glint, for finding a way to skip a corner throughout this section. You can, normally what you do is you slide along the ice, you ride some tusks. Glint found a way to cut one of the corners here and grab onto a tusk so you can kind of skip a section, but it was far too hard. So what did Glint do? He found an even better skip. And here it is. You can carry your momentum and land on that shelf as it's falling and then use that
so
to get
close.
up into that section there, jump over those houses and go through this section without triggering any of the collapsing that normally happens. So it allows for a little bit of a more straightforward path through it, grabbing on to the magnets, or the magnet flags, I should say, using our magnets, getting the speed boosts, heading onto this area, which re-triggers some of the collapsing. And now all we're gonna do is head on up towards the final part of Slippery Slopes, which is called Attraction. We're gonna get to see the penultimate of Cody and May trying to find their love and affection for each other. We're actually, as far as the lore goes, we're in a snow globe, a souvenir from the place where Cody proposed to May.
Yeah, so the cool thing about this section is that the final part of... Oh,
Hey.
Hi.
How's
it going?
So now their magnets are active towards each other. Oh, no.
Saved? Oh, almost.
Oh, thanks for the piggyback.
Yeah, so we use a
Nice
lot of these magnet jumps. If any of you have played Knuckles Chaotix, it's very similar to that, where you can kind of tether to the other person as they go out over a gap, and then you can tether back. And we use that to get out of bounds right here, to get like some extra height. And yeah, perfect. And any of you who have played this game knows that the part that we are skipping is very slow. The snowstorm takes almost all of your movement options away. You can't move until it passes. And we're just gonna go out on the outside, so we don't have to deal with any of that. We just go
kind
right to
of
the end and start
showing
the game.
off how much we actually skip here. You love to see it.
Yeah, that section was quite troublesome before because, yeah, like they said, there's a storm that constantly is pushing you backwards, and you automatically lose time trying to avoid being pushed to the start every time it starts gusting. So the fact that we can just freely move to the end instead of having to worry about any of the snowstorm is a huge skip.
And that was Snow Globe. Now it's on to the second last chapter of the game, the Garden. And Green Fingers is our first subchapter. We're gonna see a appearance of the Snuggle Slide once again. These players are gonna head in behind them once they spawn in, jump up on some boards, and they're gonna start with a crouch, jump out, dash back in, so they'll land sliding, and they can instantly do a slide jump out of that and use it to get some momentum to get out over some invisible barriers here. Hyper gonna go for it first here. Bites gets it, very well done, and then jumps across. You see, there is an advanced one that you can do where you just go immediately to the right. Hyper's gonna elect for the safer one. Oh,
No!
that's okay. Advanced for the fans?
Yeah, doing this one.
I won't go
That
advanced,
one's
though. It was just too much
sliders,
time.
It's very tough because
about
we're
it.
jumping forward and back
Yeah, so the
to
idea
initiate
here...
it.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the time we could get the advanced slide where it just takes us straight over the invisible wall at the start. Where am I? Oh,
Where are
just a
you?
little
You
short.
bit lost in a map.
A little lost. It's okay, my head. And what we're doing here. Oh, come on. Okay. What we're doing here is catching up every single checkpoint in this subchapter because we don't want to play any of it. So we're just kind of riding along all these brick walls. Also, shout outs to Kizaron for this little maneuver here. We did recently help Keys and Hobbs learn this game for a hotfix, and they were a wonderful crowd. Keys did not like one of the jumps. We just made it a little bit better. And now that we have all the checkpoints, we can interact with this plant, break it, and we will not void out.
Yeah, so that section we just skipped a bunch of stuff. A couple of plant interactions where Cody would have turned into a plant, and an entire boss got skipped as well in that section.
Purple crap coming
Yeah, so now we're in weed whacking, and weed whacking is another section where we just get out of bounds as quickly as we can. This jump actually right here is one of the more unique interactions that we get with the movement, where you push into that ceiling above you and it really kicks you out hard, and you get like a ton of velocity. And we just kind of use that to get over to the other side of the vine, and then you get up and out of bounds. And now we're just gonna go to the end. There's a final encounter that we can trigger a checkpoint at, and that's basically what we're on our way to do. It is a one-person checkpoint, so it's just whoever gets there first is just going to reset checkpoint, so the person behind doesn't really matter too often. But May is slightly faster in this section because of a couple spots where you can use the scythe to climb up some of the vertical geometry, which is one of the other May powers that actually get movement tech in another chapter where Cody gets none. There's a couple other spots in the chapter that May can abuse that as well, specifically in the next one. It saves a lot of time. The thing with the scythe is that it's not particularly fast in itself. It's actually kind of slow. The problem is that it skips a ton of other stuff. So if it's able to get around movement that you couldn't be able to do normally, then that's when it's faster. Where it's able to get you up a sheer wall.
Kind of an example of it is here. Oh no, I got the death ward. All good. Usually I wouldn't have to die there, but I guess I just didn't climb high enough.
Whatever works.
It's all good.
I mean, you'll see
We're here now.
the fight gets triggered there when he dies. Because we traveled through the entire level backwards, basically right there, to get to the last checkpoint, which is this fight. And we're just going to be trying to have Cody pull these down. And while they're down, May is going to do as much damage to them as possible. Ideally, you can one cycle these. It's been done very few times, so it's like almost too rare to even consider. But most of the time, you get the 2 cycle, 2 grabs, and they're done. Finish off the remaining little baby monsters, and then we're in like a little Plants vs. Zombies homage here.
This will probably be a good time for a few donations as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
Absolutely. We have $250 from Fizz that says, let's go. We also have $125 from Felino that says, this GDQ is amazing. I always align my time off of work with GDQ so I can enjoy the most of it. Congratulations to everyone that helps these magical weeks happen. Much love.
Thanks for having my back, Cody.
We have a $1,000 donation from Karuvax that says, lost one too many runner to cancer. Let's beat this thing.
All right, we'll stop you there as we're loading into a level called Trespassing. And traditionally, in the casual playthrough, at least, what you're doing here is you're sneaking into a cave full of moles. And a lot of them are asleep, so normally you'd have to use some of the grassy areas. Cody turns into moss, and May travels on top of the mossy Cody thing, and use that to silence her footsteps because it introduces a sound mechanic here. So what you're going to see here in a second is that the sound mechanic actually extends out of bounds as well. So going out of bounds was able to get us a more linear path to the end, but unfortunately we can't avoid the sound mechanic here. So what Bytes is trying to do is minimize his time on the ground so that he's making less noise, since there's no noise being made in the air. Good save.
Oh, good
Very
save.
good.
Oh my goodness.
We're good.
And then
Don't worry,
other
guys.
than that, just optimizing his movement for speed and getting to the end as quickly as possible. Normally May players will excel here because their scythe allows them to get oob a little bit quicker. And funny little part here is there's just a mole butt sticking out there, and we like to lick it.
You're gonna wake the moles. Oh, shit.
And then he's pretty much out of the sound section at this point, so he made it through that. The sound section, basically, if the meter fills up, it'll completely make you restart the level. But now it's just a matter of making sure he doesn't fall out of bounds. So here, you might be familiar with if you've played through casually. This is like an auto-scroller section where you're running from the moles because they've woken up, and we just kind of dash over top of it on the invisible ceiling here. And then Bytes is making his way into a little hole in the top of the map here. And he'll be going to start the ending cutscene.
Beautifully done by Bytes here so far. Chain slides through here to the end, gets through the mole's final treasure trove, get gnomed.
Twice.
He's not the Gnelf. He's not the Gnoblin.
Yeah.
And that's trespassing.
And then this ending cutscene's a little bit funny because the moles haven't actually had time to spawn in because we skipped everywhere where they normally would have. So we just get to stare at this for a little bit while the slow-mo moles are catching up and trying to get to the end where we are. And there they are.
Now let me ask you, chat. You ever seen frogs fly?
That's a serious
'Cause you
question.
will now.
It's a serious question.
Now, what I want to see fill in the chat are a bunch of frog emotes. If you have any,
Yeah,
please
pull out your
spam them
OL.
in the chat.
Unbench
Get those OS
the
frogs out.
Kench. Unload the toad. Get them out there.
Oh,
Yeah, we're in
Okay, well,
Frog
my
Pond
frog
here,
did not
and
fly.
I'm flying.
Oh.
Oh, that was
No, we're
first.
good.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm catching up. So yeah,
Oh,
for some
no.
reason, this game is more centered with FPS kind of momentum. So because we have over at least 100 frames with each of our machines or PCs, for some reason these frogs will go up slopes at a significant speed, letting us just kind of fly across and ride one of the sloped surfaces of that tree. There's like a little bend there that allows us to just kind of hover over and go out of bounds.
Made it to the greenhouse.
Yeah, so now
Yeah,
we're done with
that's
the
a-
frogs.
Just to get up to that window.
That's just a favorite trick. We just figure everyone loves to see that. The frogs just randomly skyrocketing up the trees is always fun to watch. And it's actually a pretty satisfying trick to hit as well, so that's always good.
Hyper manages
Yeah,
to
not
avoid.
nearly as hard as it looks, but it does require a little finesse.
Hyper manages to avoid the infamous friggin' papaYANN wall grab.
All right, just getting right out of affliction right away. So we skipped the first flower bed down there because the goal of this area here is to clear out the corruption from all these flower beds, and then we're gonna fill it up with flowers again. And there's 3 of them, and we just skip the first one because we don't want to do that. It just takes forever. And then we just come up to the top 2 right away. So the way we do the combat here is kind of interesting. Is we kind of like split it up a little bit. We get this big guy here because it's the only one that we need both of us for, and then we're just gonna leave right away to go do the second one.
My greenhouse. I
Yeah,
got
as
more
in the
where that
lore,
came from.
the garden is Cody's passion here. If you guys want to kind of mention,
Yeah, in the last 2 sub-chapters, or the last 2 chapters of the game, Garden, Dr. Hakim wants to basically showcase what gardening means to Cody. And then in the last sub-chapter, the attic is going to be more focused around May's passion. So that's basically the idea of what's going on here. Trying to, Hakim, the book of love, basically trying to help them understand each other a little bit better.
Bower of
you might have noticed that we kind of ignored the first flower bed there, because what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of merge both of our cutscenes here into playing both at the same time. That almost took control of mine. But we're playing both cutscenes at the same time, and we skipped the entire first flower bed. And what's going to happen now is this is going to bloom, or not really bloom, kind of retract all the
The thorns.
bad thorns and allow us to just kind of break this flower or infection, I guess, because it only takes the top 2 flower beds to activate it.
Focus.
And this is Joy. This is Cody's first planted flower that I think he planted with Rose, and she's been corrupted with some of these infections as well.
Hey, that purple sap is poison
So this entire boss will be just a ton of auto scrollers.
Yeah, this is basically 3 sections where Cody turns into some kind of fruit or vegetable and is responsible for breaking these, I don't even know what these are, these plant monsters that Joy is sprouting out. And we're trying to cure the affliction that's taken over the garden, which is sourced from this plant here. But each of those Cody fruit vegetable sections is split up by a bit of an auto scroller where we're just trying to dodge things and stay alive. So we'll have a decent amount of time for donations coming up here. Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. I'd actually like to take this opportunity to talk about one of our incentive runs that we're really close to. We're about 3K away from Wave Break Any Percent, so you can go to a Weezer concert. So if you'd like to see this incredible run, make sure you send in those donations to the Wave Break Any Percent run incentive. Alrighty, we have $100 from Dungeons and Doggos that says, a heartfelt thank you and shout out to all the folks behind AGDQ, the speedrunners, and the community for such a wholesome and amazing event for an incredibly important cause. We have $100 from Morkaru that says, keep up the great work, guys. So proud of what y'all do every year. We have $50 from TrueG33K that says, GDQ is the favorite time of the year, and I love the charities that they support. Thank you to everyone that makes these events possible. We also have $100 from Justin that says, so excited to donate again for this year and such a great cause. We've had multiple family members and friends having to fight cancer, and it's always so hard. I'm glad we're all here making a difference, and it's been another awesome show, and I'm so excited to keep watching. Let's blow past another million, which we're getting fairly close to 1.5 million. So how about we push that for tonight? Maybe we can hit it during this run.
That would be awesome. I just want to mention for people watching that might see Cody kind of moving sporadically at this point. We believe this is like a result of the way we're skipping the cutscenes using restart checkpoints, so it is perfectly normal to see Cody kind of glitching around at this point for the rest of the boss fight. But once again, there's not a whole lot of speed set going on here, so you can carry on with donations.
Of course. We have $100 from AJ that said, Affliction? Does somebody say the funniest boss fight in the game? Amazingly done so far by Bytes and Hyper. Love you both and the whole ITT community.
Oh, AJ.
Thanks, AJ. Yeah, go ahead. You got time for a few.
Alrighty. We have $50 from Reich that says, I love co-op rums, and this It Takes Two is amazing. Thanks for the show. We have another $50 from Cinematix that says, so happy to be able to donate during It Takes Two. This is my partner's first GDQ, and this is one of our favorite games we've played together this year. Big shout out to all the folks who make GDQ possible, and let's get those donations going.
Speaking of partners, big shout out to my girlfriend who loves to call this game It Takes Too Much of My Boyfriend's Time.
Oh, goodness. Yep, carry on.
Alrighty, we have $100 from Dory that says, the ITT community has been a big help for me this past year. Had a kidney surgery to take up most of my time, so being stuck at home has been pretty alright knowing I always have these wonderful people to fall back on. Hyper and Bytes have been a huge source of inspiration for the community from day one, and I'm super glad that they are the ones to showcase this game for a great cause. Much love to everyone in the community.
Oh, Dory.
Thank you, Dory.
You're incredible. You're
Looking
making
forward
me
to you
tear up.
running with Too Good again soon, I hope.
Yeah.
We have $10 from Ethan Godwin that says, I adore It Takes Two and loving this speedrun. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for that donation.
You can just keep on going if you got more.
We have $100 from Darth Bobby that simply says, thank you all for what you do, with a little heart. Thank you so much for that. We have $50 from that lurker in chat that says, been a lurker in chat since SGDQ 2013, promising myself that one day I would be able to donate to this wonderful organization and wonderful community. Let's get a lurker donation train going and a frame-perfect cure for cancer.
Oh, that's creative.
Yeah, so the thing of this fight is it's generally pretty boring. A lot of the runners don't like it. There's actually a bounty on finding a skip for this fight. There's a bounty on a few skips, but this one has the largest one. It's like 175 USD for anyone who can find out how to skip this. And that's it. We're done. We're out. We've done it. We've completed it.
And now we're going on to the last chapter of the game, which is Attic.
The coup de grace, the penultimate chapter. It is Attic, and coming up first is setting the stage, which is one of the most busted minigame warps in the history of this speedrun. It actually skips 2 entire sub-chapters, so RIP to Rehearsal and Symphony. I know somebody donated about that earlier.
Yeah, radio did, yeah.
So these runners are going to use the ropes to get up and go after musical chairs. So Bytes, well done, sir. Grabbing the minigame warp, and they're going to use that to reset the map, spawn in some light fixtures and some power cords up in the ceiling area, which we can now interact with and run across and use to head towards a massive invisible barrier that almost goes all the way to the ceiling. But if you're up on the light fixtures and you hit a slide jump with an oyster, oh my God, you almost hit another one. You unlock Track Runner and you skip 2 sub-chapters of the game. Poof, gone. They don't exist anymore.
Yeah, so that minigame warp, both of them, those minigame warps are the reason for the original split between Any% and Oob, why we made them separate categories, because we thought it was going to be more impactful down the line than it has been. But yeah, that was the original idea for the split of the categories there.
Yeah, and
so
then this might look familiar to some people because this is a direct reference to Rainbow Road from Mario Kart, and you can hear a lot of Cody's voice lines reference it, and the Dr. Hakim acting as Lakitu here when we fall off the track.
Did you at least
I'm gonna go ahead and do the safe way now so we can get through here.
we took our sweet time, dude.
Oh,
We're good. Yeah. I got it now.
He's going so fast. He's moving.
Yeah, this one can be a little unwieldy because of how much speed you're dealing with coming up from the top track. And the thing is, like when you hit the ground, you lose control of where your angle is. So it's like really hard to like handle. It takes a lot of practice to be able to get that. Luckily, there's only a single player checkpoint down at the end, so they don't really have to worry about them both getting it. But if you want to get the IL world record, you both have to get it, just because of how fast it is.
And here's a cool movement skip coming up on Byte's side. He's going to try to jump over this door, which he hits. Let's go.
Ooh.
And he's going to chain the speed from the slide all the way to this checkpoint and restart it so he can catch me up.
All right, and then we're going to get into an auto-scroller that we put in the run. So we're skipping a disco ball down in some platforming. So this is faster, but it's literally just us falling for like 20 seconds. There's nothing. This is the ultra shortcut of the Mario Kart track.
Yeah, this is mainly the one point where I get to use my singing ability out of the entire chapter. This is totally optional. I don't have to do this. I just love doing this.
It is funny, just kind of falling to May's random singing. And we have this elevator up to a DJ section, which is the only part of the run other than Vacuum Boss where both players need to change their FPS to 30 because there's going to be a lot of mashing coming up, and that's obviously going to help with the speed of the mashing.
Get all your best dance emotes ready, chat. We get a DDR section coming up here. We've seen ARPGs, we've seen platforming, we've seen so much stuff. Now it's gonna be some DDR. Get your best dance emotes ready. And if you wanna see some real cool moves, pay no attention to the left side of your screen. Just have a look at Cody here and just watch the master at work.
He's got some sweet moves. And this is, look, pay attention to the bottom left. I just instant completed it with one input.
Done.
And that's the main focus of why we put 30 FPS as well. For some reason, the meter bars are FPS dependent. If you have 120 FPS or unlimited, it may take up to 15 inputs to complete that little mini game there. But because we have it on 30, it just takes one.
And now we're going to be sucked into an audio cable here. Prepare for a flashbang, and then during the flashbang, we're going to restart checkpoint so we can get our FPS back to 120 because nobody likes playing on 30 FPS.
No flashback.
Oh, JK.
Flashbang. Yeah, flashbang averted.
There's yet another auto scroller where we take these boosts, we kind of, or not really, no, we avoid all these red bits in this audio cable so we don't lose any speed coming from these boosts.
I also just want to say, if you're seeing me on the Cody side hit a bunch of walls, that is actually desync. I promise I'm not that bad at this. I'm avoiding as many. Oh, I did just hit one. I will be I will be transparent there, but
Get for opening your mouth.
Commentators, cuz.
very true.
Yeah, you did it yourself.
But we do have this followed by a little bit of a floaty section into the final subchapter of the game, so we can take a donation or two.
Absolutely. We have $500 from the Anko that says, "Hey everyone, how to donate during this love letter of video games. Thank you guys for your effort. Keep on keeping on. And please, in Dr. Hakim's voice, cooperation." Would one of you guys like to take that over for me?
Collaboration. Essentially, Alien is going to explain this next skip, which is the final skip of the game. A very cool one.
Yeah, so if any of you who have played this casually, I'm sure you're aware of the final cut and end where you walk slowly to the switches and stuff. But the thing is that we start just like an inch in the air, and that's all we need. Because while you're in the air, you can buffer air dashes and jumps, and when you land, you get time dashes, and as long as you keep that momentum going, you can just keep it the entire time.
Sicko mode!
He's going the way! And there it is.
Nice.
We just skip the entirety of Grand Finale. We go straight to the kiss.
Time is coming up pretty soon once we lock lips together. What a beautiful ending to this game.
Yeah.
I do just want to shout out everyone in the community for being wonderful and helping out each other as much as possible. We have a speedrun.com page. The Discord is also there. We are more than welcoming to everybody. And time.
Very good run, guys. Were either of you timing in-game?
Yeah, that was a 1:37:20 in-game time, so that was a little over a minute slower than record.
Oh my god.
That's so good.
With the cutscene nonsense.
Dude, you guys are crap.
Exactly, maybe not exactly a minute, almost a minute slower than our PB, but that was a great run.
Yeah, it was. That was really good.
Wow.
Yeah, this community is,
Can we find out what that was in real time?
Oh yeah, what's our time in real time?
Wow.
Nice. Yeah, this community is amazing, and if any of you, after watching the run, are interested in speedrunning this game, feel free to join the Discord. We're all just waiting, staring at the Ask for Help page, waiting for somebody to ask a question, because we just love, our passion for the run is just immense. We just love helping anyone we can learn.
Yeah.
Any last word you guys want to say?
Oh, I mean, I was good. That was a great run. I had a great time. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely just flabbergasted and floored to be a part of this. So thank you guys for having me on as part of the commentary team for AGDQ, for all the incredible work that they do for fighting cancer, all the donators that contributed to this, and everybody that's been there for me in this community so far, and all the people that we've gotten to help, and all the new faces that we're going to see. Just so excited for what's going to come next for this game.
Yeah,
I just
thank you
want to
so
thank
much,
you all
guys.
for having us, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend of the end of GDQ. We're coming up there. Please keep donating. You guys are all amazing and wonderful for just such a good cause. And that will be for us. Thank you all so much.
And that was It Takes Two from whoishyper and ItzBytez. If you'd like to find out more about the speedrun, make sure you check out either of their Twitch channels, their speedrun.com page, or their Discord. Coming up next, we have Marble It Up by Hatchet302. But before we get into that, I'd like to get into some of these donations. We have $20 from another lurker saying, "Lurker donation train hype. Let's beat those games quick and cancer even quicker." And shout outs to the lurkers. I see you guys out here in the donations. It's been wonderful to hear from y'all. We actually have $25 from yours truly, PurpleGhostKasper, that says, "Hey AGDQ, it's been a ton of fun to watch the event this week. GDQ has been a part of my life for 7 years, and it's been a ton of fun to be a part of it once again. Much love to the staff, runners, and viewers for making this event so special." And with that, my time here hosting at GDQ has come to an end. We have some more awesome runs coming up this week, so don't you dare forget to check in. We have Marble It Up coming up next, and for now, I will be seeing you all in the chat. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 Online, powered by Twitch. Super Jamoose is here as your host in this after midnight hour, but fear not, for I am here to guide you through the darkness. And tonight, if you're a fan of round, spherical, dare I say, orb-shaped geometric objects, well, you're gonna have a good time here. I have Hatchet302 who's gonna show you how to roll with precision and style. We've got some Marble It Up that is mere moments away for you lovely folks. But coming up next, before our run, we have an interview for you fantastic internet friends. Let's settle in, relax, and have a listen.
Hello, how's it going? It's time for late night with Foo and friends. Hello, I'm sorry, I was just like touching my face, getting ready for, chatting this evening, and here we are. So this evening, I am joined by Olenoname, who's getting ready to do his upcoming Stardew Valley. This is a glitched community center restoration run. How's it going, Olenoname? I feel like I'm like, what do I say for a short version? But
you could say no name. A lot of people will say no name. That's not the first part.
But honestly, it sounds like a little sad. I feel bad.
No, it's all right. I'm doing well today. How are you?
I am alive. I'm here. It's pretty late, but you know what? It is what it is, and I can't wait to see your run. So I'd love to talk about it a little bit before it happens this evening, or morning. It depends on where you are. So for those who don't really know Stardew that well, what does the community center restoration entail? Like, is that like the main endpoint for a game like this? Like, kind of give us a glimpse on that.
Yeah, so Stardew Valley doesn't really have a set endpoint. It's kind of an open-ended game. It's a farming simulator, so you just kind of like build your life as you want it. The community center is the first big long-term goal, and probably the main long-term goal that they give you throughout the extent of the game. Mm-hmm. And so the idea behind this run is restoring the community center as quickly as possible. And the glitch just means that glitches are allowed.
Right. Of course, it makes sense. And I know that glitches, like, it is the big thing for this. Obviously, this is a game that would take a really long time otherwise. Based on the style, it's supposed to be like chill, long-term, casual, but I know that there is one big glitch that has been hinted about. But can you tell us a little bit more about it now?
Yeah, this will not be slow or casual. Casual run took me, I think this exact thing took me about 48 hours. The run should take about 15 to 16 minutes due to this glitch that you've alluded to, which I call window size cancel, WSC for short. I don't know if window size cancel is the actual name. I do know WSC is the actual abbreviation.
Okay.
So the way this trick works is it's very simple. Anyone could probably open their Stardew Valley and do it right now. Okay. All you do is you hit Alt and Enter, and it will resize the window of Stardew Valley from full screen to window. The thing is, on patch 1.2, which is what this game will be, which is what I will be running on, if you hit Alt and Enter in the middle of a cutscene, you could just do whatever you want. And this applies not just to cutscenes, but to the large majority of the game itself. The game will simply cease doing what it's supposed to when you open, because whenever you resize the window, the menu automatically opens up and instantly interjects whatever's supposed to be going on.
Okay, weird.
Yep, it's wild.
So then do you just get access to everything, or does time stop, or like how?
Yeah, you kind of get access to everything. That's one way of putting it. I'll leave a few secrets for the run itself, because I'm sure people will want to see what happens.
I know.
But yeah, no, it's a really wild trick, and it's just like so often it's like born into the lifeblood of the run. Like every time something goes wrong, you're like, can I WSC this? Like, will this work?
Okay. How many times have you actually been running this game and then something happens that's unexpected for you and you try that and it does help?
Rarely. If something new pops up, generally you don't want to disturb the game because something new popped up because something's gone wrong, and the game's very unhappy with you.
Okay.
So when you actually do more things to mess with the game, it tends to get more upset with you.
That's fair. I mean, I guess that makes sense. You know, it's like trying to figure out what to do with you and the coding in the first place, you know? But in terms of like messing with the game and new tricks, I was told, No Name was telling me that a new trick was found just a few days ago. Like you found something.
Yep. While I was practicing for this run. So there was a small blind section that I had kind of routed in that I had never gotten before. And in practice, I got it one time. And out of spite for how rarely I could get this trick, I went discovering new ways to do this. And instead, I found a 2-minute semi-blind section. So now, so now there will be 2 minutes of routing towards the end of the run where I will have to move somewhere. Sometimes I'll have a little vision. Sometimes I'll have no vision at all. And I'll have to do a bunch of stuff during that time. I think there's like 8 different things I have to do in that 2-minute period where I can't see. Okay,
but we just don't know. Like you'll be the one to know what to do. You just found this, so you're gonna like give it a shot. And I mean, can we see like a new PB today? Like, is this kind of?
Oh yeah, it's entirely possible.
Yeah. Totally possible. All right. So if you all are,
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, if you are getting ready to go to bed, or if you're just waking up, this is a reason to stay awake and be paying attention. I want to see what happens here. What were you going to say?
Yeah. So before this trick was discovered, first of all, I have yet to prove that this trick saves time. I'm pretty confident it does because it skips a 30-second cutscene, but you have to move perfectly to like actually save time off of that, and you're moving blind, which is pretty hard. But while I was practicing for this, I got PBs multiple times. I just wasn't recording, so none of them are valid records. So it's entirely possible that this ends up being a PB, and if it is a PB, then it is also a world record. So,
oh my gosh. Okay.
Yes.
Are we going to have another one during TDQ? I haven't been bringing them up beforehand because I didn't want to jinx anything. And you know, I'm just going to look now. We're just saying maybe a new PB. We'll see.
I'll be your subject. We'll see if you jinx it. It's okay.
Okay. Oh gosh.
I don't mind.
Either way, the run's going to be fantastic, and I hope you all are looking forward to it like I am. I can't wait to watch it. So best of luck to you, Olenoname. Thank you so much for chatting with me. And again, best of luck on the run. I am going to hand it back over to Super Jamoose to take it away from here. Have a good rest of your night, everyone. Or morning. Bye.
Welcome back, friends, to Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 Online. Say, do you folks like donations? I mean, I do. I've got a few here that need some reading, so let me just share a few of them with you. Ali sends in $20 and says, my husband donated to the dog incentive after I told him I donated to cat. I'm donating 20 more to cat to try and combat him. Cat Squad, rise up! That's right, we have that incentive going on if you want to say, oh, I don't know, save the animal's choice for fuzzy critter friend in the Stardew